Hello and welcome to the OVRC, and welcome back to the TC series. We're at round 6 right now, which will be at Sonoma. I'm once again joined by Erwin.
Hello.
And as I said, yeah, we're at Sonoma, a track which I don't have fond memories of, but that's a completely different story. A track which is not often seen in Race Room. It's been in the game for quite a while now, but one of those tracks which is just not used really, but we are using it today, and of course for the TC cars, which WTC did actually race in real life, which is why we're particularly racing the WTCC layout and not just any old normal layout. Have you ever driven around here, Owen? I normally ask this, and you normally
Uh,
say no.
a very long time ago. I think in Project Cars 2 when I played that.
That must have been a while ago.
Yeah.
Um, I drove around here recently in completely different sort of cars in a different sim, so I don't really count that as experience. I of course did the posters. I can't say I particularly enjoy it.
I wonder why.
I wonder why. But we will move on from that because I'm not driving here today. I am merely a spectator. Of course, we're going to be having a hopefully quite full grid of 20 plus TC cars going around this track. That hopefully should be interesting results because the nature of the track is a lot of ups and downs, a lot of places where you can lose control of the vehicle quite easily and end up in the plenty of full of sand or a fence, whichever is preferable. So we've got a few minutes until the drivers will be unleashed onto the server. Of course, practice will start at 7. We've got an hour of practice, and then we'll go into qualifying, followed by the race, which is going to be 2 races, 2 20-minute races with the second with a reverse grid as normal for the TC series. It's quite sunny. Like it's quite blue, surprisingly. Not the track model, so it's quite nice to see some blue sky because obviously not around here at this time of year with all this rain going on. Do you have any news before we head into the thing about any sort of rough ideas of the order? Anyone talked about much at all?
Not really.
One thing we probably should actually go through before we start is the current standings, if you would like to do that, Erwin.
Yes, so leading the Drivers' Championship is Thomas Jansen with 191 points. Then 50 points behind him is Jaroslav Honzik in second. And in third is Mark Whitford with 119 points. Then closely behind with 117 points it's Connor Mathieson. And in fifth there's John Dalton with 91 points. Then in the team championship we have Open Visor Racing Club leading with 269 points. PRC Racing Team in second with 208 points. Berlin Motorsport in third with 147 points. Fourth is Team Sly Fox with 135 points. And then in fifth, it's Rage Quit Racing with 77 points. And of course, as always, if you want to check out the full standings, you can do so at the link in the description.
Thank you very much, Erwin, for quickly running through that because I always struggle doing that. But luckily, you can do it fairly, very good. So we got less than a minute to go, about 30 seconds or so, if you include the fact there's a delay on the stream. Because obviously it's a few seconds delay because we can't put it in real time. Otherwise, it'll be this wouldn't work. It just wouldn't work, unfortunately. Looking around, let's just check on the Discord if there's anything else going on there. Not much is being said right now. Some people are reporting some time being lost in certain sectors, but nothing much as the clock has gone to 7 and the server will be open up to our drivers. So who's going to be the first one to join the server?
It would be one of the usual suspects.
Imagine so. And our first one is Thomas Jensen, followed by Mark Whitford. Jensen being rocking the Peugeot the entire season, and Mark being driving that Cupra. So two somewhat underrepresented cars. Both up the order fairly in the standings. It'll be interesting to see how both of them will perform today. As they're both heading out very similar times out the pit lane. Pit lane won't be actually used today because these cars will not require a pit stop. Now head down through turn 6. This is the interesting part, because this area of the track has a lot of different configurations. On our track map you can see quite a few of them. There's different little routes they can take. I just realised our track map is technically wrong. If you look at turn 7, it's slightly different than ours, but not too different. So they now head down into turn 9. Turn 9A, actually, is classified as. Little chicane. And the heavy braking zone of turn 11. And there is most of a lap completed of Sonoma, as they now start their first timed laps. We've kind of got a few drivers now out on track. Well, not a few, but a few cars on the server at least. The first few sectors of time has been set as Mark Whitford staying very close to the back of Jensen on this lap. Don't know how much is going to actually represent in the race itself, but worth noting right now. Now go for the very fast section of turn 8. And they go around the hairpin. Our first timed lap will be set, and it will be a 1:45.3 set by Mark Whitford. Few people now saying their first timed laps. As all current cars on the server are now out on track. The majority of them being Audis. The Audi being very popular in this series at least. Thomas Jensen fastest sector 1 time, which is a 0.2 improvement over his last time. And Prue's going to sector 2. And Jensen does take the P1 spot with that lap. Marcus is now his first time lap, but is quite far down the current split times. He'll cross the line, set the third fastest time. A little bit of turbo flutters from a lot of cars overhead. Of course, all these cars are powered with turbos. As the car in front has a bunch of front bodywork missing. I think it's James Butler there in the Golf.
Yeah, it is.
So I don't know what happened to him, but he's obviously missing his front bumper. So must have a bit of contact with the wall.
Yeah, Thomas Jensen has also made a big improvement in sector 2.
So as Mark, he now crossed the line, he moves himself up the order.
So now Jensen crosses the line. Let's see if he can take P1 again, and he does. Half a second faster than Whitford.
That's quite a big improvement in that sector too.
Yeah, and that's without improving in sector 1. He was actually slower there.
And Jensen's proving in sector 1 times, but loses out in sector 2, so this won't be an improvement from him. CPU are still saying in their first times laps right now.
Jensen goes a tenth faster in sector 1.
Very quickly trying to get the pace set. I get a little gap through his rivals. Oh, his rivals yet to be on the server though, so. Into the hairpin he goes. Let's see if he can keep the momentum going in this final sector. And he does, but barely in sector 3. As we now have 14 cars now on the server, with 7 of them have set times. We only had 10 minutes gone so far for the session, so still lots of time. Jensen once again is setting global fastest sector times. We got 23.6 in sector 1.
Goes slightly faster in sector 2 as well, though I think somebody had spun in front of him, so that might have affected his time.
And you cross the
Very
line.
close line. Yeah, so
Loses
that
a lot of
has.
time in sector 3.
Yeah, so I think that he will have to. He will have gotten on the brakes for the car spinning in front of him.
We had a disconnect, I don't know who exactly it was. Definitely are lacking the cars. We had actually another car as well. Had 7 times set, now we only get 5 times set.
And next to set their first lap will be Fran Machuca and Jörg Ortner. On the main straight now, and let's see where they go. Machuca goes third and Ortner is right behind.
The other cars start rolling up the pit lane now as well. Including the likes of Atten Kovalainen. I believe he's already set a time, but I think he did rejoin the server, so he obviously loses that time.
Cinnamons goes P6.
The second fastest time is still 0.8 seconds off Jensen's fastest time.
Yeah, as Honzik just takes P5, getting his first timed lap in. So I suspect he will be capable of going a lot faster than that towards the end of the session.
Yeah, he's behind George Ordner right now.
Jensen making a few improvements again in Sector 1.
Got Radek in front of him in the other Cupra, in the bright green one.
Yeah.
Might be finding a bit of a slipstream.
Actually, this just made me realize Whitford.
Is
His
one of the
time has
cars.
disappeared, so he's reconnected.
A few more people starting for personal sector time improvements.
Anton Krivlainen just took P8.
So we're heading into the 20-minute mark. We've got 4 minutes left to go. We've got currently 17 cars on the server. So we are slowly filling up as the drivers do eventually find the password and start joining the server. Caroline just at the wall on the exit of turn 11. He's trying to set his time, he's currently playing P9. He puts himself P5. as Honzi puts himself P2.
Yeah,
Still
Pepijn
points.
Hillemans is also improving a lot right now, so he's about to cross the line. And he's now in P9 and he moves up to P6. So that's a very good improvement from him. Thomas Jensen sets the fastest Sector 1. So he's on an improvement right now. Although actually he's got left being validated in Sector 2.
What Hillemans is after his timed lap just went straight off into the wall as Tiffy Haynes goes second fastest.
Anton Kuvalainen now heads around the final corner. So he's currently P7. Let's see if he can make his way up the grid. And he does not. So he's lost some time in the final sector.
Yep, he does seem. But Whiffers are back out on track again, looking to try and get himself back up to where he was. Mark's now heading into turn 11 now, but his second sector's not looking that quick, so looking right now, he
Yeah,
could
it's
possibly.
not really back where he was before he disconnected. He moves it to P6 for now. Still 37 minutes left to close the gap though. Actually, of course this is still practice, so it doesn't really matter until qualifying. Still nice to get into qualifying with a bit of a motivation boost from getting high up the grid in practice.
Berlin Circuit time lap out now. Fairly good in sector 1. Mark Whitford getting very close in sector 1 now to Thomas Jensen's time. But he needs to keep us going into the final 2 sectors to see if he can try and get into that top position or near that top spot. There's still quite the gap right now.
With Fritz 6/10 slower than Jansen in sector 2. Should still be able to gain some positions though. Let's see where he ends up when he crosses the line in just a little bit. And actually he lost a lot of time in the final sector, so he doesn't gain anything.
The thing is, ends up in the barrier. For whatever reason, he obviously invalidated his lap or was not happy with it, as Honzik's now going around to improve his lap time.
Magnus Miller Jensen is improving right now, so we've got another Jensen in the field, except this one is spelled slightly differently.
Also not Dutch.
Yeah.
As Honzik goes very wide out of turn 8. A bit too much power on and validates his lap. A lot of
And
dust as well.
Jensen with an E has lost some time in the final sector, unfortunately, so no improvement for him.
I've seen the Audis very popular. Quite a few of them.
Yeah. So let's see if Kuvalainen can improve. And he moves up to P5. Really close behind Jensen with an E. And Mark Whitford goes fastest in first sector. So let's see if he can keep that pace going into sector 2. That's around turn 7.
Now we're down to turn 8. Just keep it in the track. Just lose a lot of time out in that second sector. Let's put him. As we are now in halfway point, so we'll quickly go on our commentator's break. And we'll be speaking to
Yeah, well, let's see if Whitford can still do anything in the final sector, and he doesn't.
So we'll be back in a moment. Meantime, enjoy the cars going round.
Don't leave, please.
Hello and welcome back to the OVRC, and welcome to practice of round 6 at Sonoma for the TC series. Courtney Jansen is leading, Tesla with Honzig closing the gap now, up down to 0.1 of a second. And we have 23 minutes to go. Only 19 cars on the server, with 18 of them have set times. Very interesting few 20 minutes or so. We're looking to improve his current time. He's already down in P12. Heading down to turn 11. Brings up to P9 to the top 10. Jennifer Van Oman is currently P3. Still over half a second down top 2 in terms of the current times. Slow there through turn 11. Outbreak, so you've got to be very careful going to turn 11. Very easy to brake too much as the car behind hits on the tyre barriers. Those are unfortunately solid. Not drive through them. Justin Rotherham setting his first timed lap. Well, not his first, but his first quick one. We're down in P19. George Ordner improving sector 1, trying to again move up that order, but he's quite far down it. Not where would you expect to see him. Cross the line now, and you'll put him stays P9. Right now we have reached the player numbers we're going to see this race. Looks like it's going to be stuck at 19 cars.
Yeah, we have had a lot of sign-outs for this race, unfortunately, but we still got plenty of participants for a fun race.
We now have 3 cars under the second area, which is good to see. 3 different manufacturers in that area as well, so.
Tom Dentist just moves out to P13. He gained 1 position on Sebastian Brunier.
So 15 minutes left to go in the session. We'll see a few more times being trying to be set. I was trying to get the last few seconds out of their cars, or the last few milliseconds, depending on where you are in the grid.
Bit of side-by-side action between Stephen Higgins and Radek Polaksak on the main straight. Higgins did not improve his time as a result of that. He was looking faster up until then, but he obviously lost a lot of time as Radek went up his inside at turn 11.
Someone's jumped up the order quite significantly then.
I think it's Stuart Ortner.
Yeah, I think he's jumped up to P4.
Up to P4, yeah.
under a second now, but still 0.48 off the fastest time right now.
Honzik is very close though.
Yep, he's currently closer so far, in getting close to that current top times.
Sorry.
A few more people are moving around the order right now.
Mark Whitford goes fastest in Sector 1. Seen this before, but let's see if he can keep it going this time around.
Order will cross the line and he stays P4.
Whitford is 4/10 down on Jensen in Sector 2. So he's not been able to maintain the speed he had in Sector 1, but he still might be able to move up the grid. It's currently in P7. And there's a couple of people not too far away from him. So he's going to cross the line now, and he stays P7.
Lose a bit of time out in our last sector. Bonzo is once again back out on the hunt to improve his current times. He is very close, but he seems to be losing a lot in the first sector. He's got a personal improvement right now, but still 0.2 off in that sector. So if he can try and get a bit closer in that sector, he may have a better chance of possibly beating Jansen's time. Then that he's now way into sector 2 now.
Jensen goes a tenth faster in Sector 1. Though he does have Plexek coming up in front of him. So that might get in the way.
Ooh, goes very wide out on our turn 8, and now Voss ruins his lap. So he won't be improving his time anytime soon, with not helping the fact that he does have that car in front of him. Overline looking to improve his current times. Loses more time out in Sector 2, so it does seem people are reaching the limits of what they are able to do in this session. And a few people have got improvements in certain sectors. Gordon is improving Sector 1 time. Or has improved it. He's now in Sector 2.
Jorg does improve his time and gets closer to General Van Ommen, but he's not quite there yet. So he stays in P4. Magnus Müller-Jensen might be able to gain a few positions though as he crosses the line now, and he does not.
Just well below, moves himself up to P15. And Sam van Ommen has got faster Sector 1 time. And then goes very wide through turn 6, so doesn't look like that time he's going to keep going. People are just trying to improve their current times. Magnus Olberg is going to cross the line. Now P10. Oh, doesn't put himself, stays P10. Less than 3 minutes to go, so not much time left for people to set times in. So as we enter the closing moments of this session, Jensen looks like he will be leading coming into practice with only a .063 advantage over Honzig. Can any of them replicate that time when it comes to qualifying? So I think this first race is going to be very important because the second race is going to be very difficult to get overtakes on, I believe, because oh, Jensen nearly flips the car and then. There's under a minute left to go. We're very shortly headed into qualifying. And there we go, there's the end of practice. As we're now heading to the drivers' briefing and qualifying. So, any predictions about this qualifying session, Erwin? Before it does start fully?
Well, I think it's going to be between Jensen and Honzik for qualifying for pole position. As they were very close, Jensen was just a little bit faster, but of course we know in TC series traffic tends to be a bit of an issue. I think this is not like one of the shortest tracks we've run, but it's still not a long one either, and it helps that there's not as many people as we sometimes have today, but could still become an issue, of course, as that
I believe the
really tends to
cars.
affect qualifying. And there's a car out on track, which shouldn't be.
That's not going to be a good thing. I think he's one of the new people as well, so obviously
Yeah,
didn't read
not
the rules.
reading the rules correctly.
Rules that exist for a reason, and not obeying those rules will get you punished. So remember, kids, read the rules if they're there. So I'm going to be much the same. I think Jensen's going to be able to take pole. He managed to get to those quick times a lot quicker, and I think he has a slight advantage in that regard. But Honzig could possibly do something against practice now, so he's already had practice, so may already know how to deal with it. But we will see. As they quickly finish off the driver's briefing, it shouldn't be too long because obviously they're going to discuss stuff like the rolling start. Unlike in the GT series. So see, just waiting for the car to head out. It's always a bit difficult to do anything at this point. We are waiting for the car to head out on track. Better looks on the pit lane. We do. Oh, as well, the other cars are slowly rolling down the pit lane. Quite a long pit lane when you think about it.
Yeah, it's Timothy Haynes doing that.
Okay, he's rolling down the
Not
pit lane
quite
very.
sure why.
Oh, as Mark is also rolling out now. A few drivers seem to be doing it. I believe we are now going. As we have 15 minutes and 50 seconds to go in this qualifying session. As Mark is currently leading a little pack of cars. Obviously excluding the car which is out on track, which shouldn't be. Moving now down to turn 6, the long left-hander goes all the way down to the flat part of the circuit. Through turn 8 they go. Mark now goes for the final hairpin. And we'll start his timed lap. Heading through now up to through turn 1 towards turn 2 now. And you get a little dip here before heading up to turn 3. Going up, it's going all up and down. You start now heading downhill into turn 4. And 5. Up again. It's heading now down into turn 6. The left-hander mentioned earlier. Down you go, and then the track is very wide here because I believe it joins onto the drag strip. There's a drag strip which goes straight down the middle here. We need to pull off it for a bit into turn 7. Right at the end of the circuit. Quite hard to find a line there, how wide it is, but you do eventually work it out after a few laps. And into the fast section, starting off with turn 8. And turn 8A, because conventional naming systems are that's a thing. And turn 9, which is the...
Of course they're not a thing, it's America.
Into the chicane, which is only used in this particular layout, and then you get into turn 10, which is another fast corner, into the somewhat of an arena section, but it's basically just a hairpin of turn 11 as you go around. That's quite slow, but it looks like it opens up when you first drive it, but it doesn't. It actually tightens up as you go around it, and we're lucky to avoid the wall there, and we'll cross the line and we'll head and put the first proper time out of a 1:45.2. So still out of the range of the fastest during practice, as Honzig is looking to improve upon that time with a fastest sector 1.
Yeah, so looks like Honzig at the moment is the only one going faster than Whitford, although Anton Kovalainen is joining that club in sector 2.
Jensen though is right now, he's got a faster sector, so does George Ordner, so a few people have got global faster sector times in various points.
Whitford is also improving in sector 1.
Things like all the top runners are getting getting full out right now as Kovalainen across the line puts 1:45.09 in. The fastest time on the board and provisional pole, but that will shortly be changed as Honzig will be crossing the line very shortly with half a second up in sector 2. Heavy braking now into turn 11, into the hairpin.
Joe Courtney takes P1.
We're 1:44.9, but Honzig will be crossing the line now, that will be a bit faster if he can keep it to go in the last sector, and so he does, a 1:44.388. I believe, unfortunately, I think Thomas Jensen's that got invalidated at some point, so he hasn't crossed the line yet. With a timed lap, Marcus Elberg is now heading into the final corner.
Jensen did cross the line, but he had his lap invalidated somewhere in the final sector, I think.
They set a reasonable time, but Honzig is 0.5 a second faster than Ordner. So people got quite a way to work now to get towards those fast times as Marcus crosses the line and puts himself P5. Overline improves his sector 1 but loses a lot of time out in sector 2, and Tom is very loose there through the chicane in turn 9. As Dentis now heads across the line, puts a 1:45.5 in. Right, Pleslek is looking to improve currently as he has improved both his sectors. With a few more corners to go as
Thomas Jensen puts himself in second position.
1:44.644. And not quite as close as he would like to be to his rival of Honzig. Honzig currently second in the championship. Thomas Jensen currently leading that championship. Pleslek does improve his time. He moves up to P6.
So there we go. Jensen goes fastest in sector 1. By just a little bit.
Not by much.
Someone went off
behind
him, but they've disappeared again.
So now into turn 7.
Honzig has made... Oh wait, I'm on Whitford now actually. Whitford has made quite a big improvement, a global improvement in sector 1. Honzig has also gone a little bit faster, but Whitford is the fastest in sector 1 right now.
You still need to keep that going into sector 2 and sector 3, as Jensen has improved his sector 2 as well, global fastest in that by 0.1 of a second. As I believe someone has shot up the order there, can't tell quite which car was that, but...
Oh, Honzig almost flipped it and he spun!
That's good, he's that
invalidated. Oh, took a bit too much curb there and almost flipped. So he's back in the pits.
Jensen now going through the hairpin now, he's now onto the start-finish straight as such. Through turn 12 he goes, quick little run down to the start-finish line, and he'll put himself, he does not get on provisional pole. He's still got another bit more work to do as Mark Whitford's now coming through.
Looks like Oman also took P2 while all that was happening.
Yeah, so he completely missed that, as Mark Whitford has improved his sector 2 but not globally, so he's lost still a lot of time through that sector compared to...
Whitford seems to be very fast in sector 1, pretty consistently, but then loses out in sector 2 and 3. He's crossing the line now, so let's see where he ends up. And he goes P4.
Just in front of George Ordner then. So we are now heading towards 7 minutes left in the session to go. And a few people have yet to set times, interestingly enough. As it all calms down a tiny bit from the front runners, as all of them sort of turn to the pit, start doing outlaps once again. Saying that, Mark Whitford has set a global fastest sector time.
Yeah, but he just had a bit of trouble with a golf on the track, which I didn't exactly see what happened there, but Definitely some contact there.
George Osner is now saying global fastest sectors as well. He's now getting through turn 6, so fastest sector 1 for him.
Fran Machuca just took P5. Yeah, Joe Kortner fastest in Sector 1 as he's coming towards the end of Sector 2 now, so let's see how fast he goes there. He goes fastest in Sector 2 as well.
Will be the lap to put him on provisional pole, at least up the order somewhat. He's currently P6, over half a second down the top on Honzig's time.
Yeah, we're not expecting him to get up in the fight for pole, seeing where he was in practice, so this could still get interesting for him.
As he's going to cross the line now, what time will he be setting? He puts himself provisional pole with 144.3. Loses out a tiny bit in final sector, but luckily his other sectors do carry him enough to take that pole. Saying that though, 3 people start setting faster sectors immediately as he crosses the line. I get notifications for 3 people saying faster sectors. One of them is Joseph Honzig, followed by Thomas Jensen and Kovalainen.
So Jensen was fastest in Sector 1. Let's see, Honzig. Honzig also goes fastest in Sector 2. Let's see what happens.
He's still got sector
when Anton loses a lot of time. He's a second down in Sector 2.
2 being one of the more technical sectors, I believe. Honzig's going through 10-11 now. Did he go a bit too deep then? About to find out now as he's just across to head into turn 12.
And I think Jensen was faster in Sector 2 than Honzig. Honzig takes position on pole for now, but let's see what happens when Jensen comes across the line in just a few seconds. And
no.
Jensen lost a lot of time in the final sector, so he does not improve.
And he's only got 4 minutes left to do, so he's got about 2 laps at most left to get a new time in. The pressure is now on to Jensen as Honzig does have pole. And he's got to just keep running there because it looks, unless Warner can pull something out or Omen. I mean, Mark Whitford's still a possibility if he can get going again. Maybe Kovalainen if he can figure out his sector 2.
Yeah, he is very fast in Sector 1 right now, but of course he might struggle in Sector 2 as we've seen on the last lap. Jensen, meanwhile, half a second slower in Sector 1.
I think went
So
a bit
that's
wide.
not going to be a good lap for him.
Went a bit wide for turn 1, turn 2. When we just sort of watched the end of his lap, so I think he's going to do this one more lap, and he's got basically one more chance to do it. Honzig does not gain in Sector 2.
He's lost a bit through there. Let's see what happens to Anton Kovalainen, who had a bit of traffic there. And Anton improves his personal time, but he's not improving globally.
Honzig a brush of the wall then. And he retires to the pit lane as Kovalainen is now going for the final corner now. Currently sitting at P9, so this lap should turn the order a bit more, possibly to P4 if he can get there. We're about to find out now as he crosses the line and puts himself P5.
As I think Hillemans also just moved up to P10. So Honzig is in the pits and he's not going to have enough time to get another lap in now, so there's not going to be any improvements from him. Jensen is still out on track though, and he is on a timed lap right now, and he still has enough time to finish it.
Oh, George Order's gone off. It turns 6, so
And Jensen goes slower in Sector 1.
Not looking
So
good
I
for...
think Honzik will be able to do it unless Jensen managed to pull off some magic in sectors 2 and 3.
Not like it right now. You can just see his teammate behind him who can't focus on, which is Sebastian Brunner, who just go a bit wide out of the exit turn 6 and just compromise his lap. But Thomas Jensen might be stuck in P4 starting off, and this is going to be interesting to see what he can do then. First race again is 20 minutes long, and it's followed by a second race where the top 8 positions are reversed.
And Jensen goes, quite a lot slower in sector 2.
A minute to go as Omen sets the global fastest sectors. Will he have enough time to
Yeah,
finish
goes
off his
fastest in sector 1. I think he just about might be able to make it. Going to be very close though.
We're about to find
Yeah,
out.
he can just about make it, I think.
So he's going to have a perfect lap now. He's got a bit of traffic up ahead. Hopefully it won't be too close to him. Heading now into turn 9. Improved sector 2. Yeah.
Traffic gets out of the way of him.
Ooh, the Audi is
just
very
about.
close, and the Audi probably should have just stopped off the ground there, as he's got 20 seconds now to go for the final corners. All or nothing. Heavy braking, got one of the Golfs up ahead of James Butler in front of him. Shouldn't be too much of an issue as James Butler has an issue. Hits the wall, but he doesn't, luckily, so he's one more corner to go. 6 seconds, he's just going to make it. And he loses out. He does retain P3, and that is qualifying over. Honzik takes pole by George Ordner, Van Omen, Jensen, Kovalainen, Whitford, Polzek, and that's all the time I have to say. Woo! Bit close towards the end there, and surprisingly Thomas Jensen does not get pole, so my prediction is wrong.
Yeah, well, I said it was going to be very close between Honzik and Jensen, and it looks like Honzik has been able to take it in the end. As Jensen not quite able to pull off a good lap there.
It doesn't seem like he struggled a lot in that qualifying session, probably with traffic and a lot of factors in, and he just didn't get the clean lap he wanted through. Got a lot of work to do in this first race. Because a P4 is not the place you want to finish in the second race. That means you're quite far at the back of the grid then. Does the car start lining up on the grid right now? And Honzik is there on pole position. So as the lights will start to going on right now, the engines start revving, the launch control systems are set, and we are going racing. George Order gets a very slow start then. Jensen has to calculate, and Order's dropped down to P7, P8 right now. And Honzik managed to get a clean getaway for the most part, a bit of contact up behind. So far fairly clean through the first couple of corners there. Everyone's still staying fairly close together. So far seems clean as they all start heading up through turn 3, now down into turn 4. As Jensen now goes down, stays in front of Radek, as Ordner's now going to fight his way through. So the person we thought we were going to fight through has managed to get away somewhat. As Ordner now goes down the inside of Radek Pletzek down into turn 6 and makes the move happen. We'll right now have a look for a possible fight back into turn 7. He pulls out a bit, but then slots in behind, and then like anything will happen there. There's a couple of cars going side by side in the back, assisting some of the Hyundais. Some of them do ride the curve a bit aggressively then. So, one of the Audis got Kovalainen's got a bit slow then. Mark Whitford's made his way back through. He's pushed a bit wide then chicane. He's going to try and move the cars dashing all around behind him as Jensen's making a move down to Kovalainen down to turn 11. Around the outside as he go. But it doesn't look like he can make the move then. And oh, does he? They're sticking side by side. They actually switched back on each other. As they... Everyone's just going to have the lead going into turn 1, and Jensen's going to have to pull out for now. We can't really make the move work then. Now, Ordner's right behind these lot as well.
In the meantime, something's happened to Victor Berlin and he's found his way all the way to the back of the grid.
Now making a move down to Kovalainen and into turn 4, and he does it once again. So another clean move then from George Ordner. He's back up into P6.
Yes, he is able to make those positions back up very quickly.
There's a thing, there's a bit of action behind them as well. Radek gets passed once more by Fran Mature. There, by Fran. There we go.
So in the top 3, Jensen is very close to Omen, but it seems that Honzik is starting to pull away from them. But Jensen definitely looking to get as close as possible to Omen right now, but their pace seems fairly equal.
Does see Omen's got some decent pace out there right now, but Honzik is definitely getting away, as you have said. It won't be easy.
Jensen in the slipstream right now. Let's see if he'll be able to do anything into turn 2. No, he's not going to try anything. I mean, it will be a difficult corner to overtake, to be fair.
Bit of more close racing going on behind. Sebastian Brunier is trying to make a move on Zek, and behind them Hillemans and Haynes and Albert, Marcus, or Magnus.
This might be a bug, but actually my live timing is saying the last laps of Omen and Jensen were identical.
Oh, some cars gone off in the background there. Magnus Oldberg has gone off, and so has Timothy Haynes, so a bit of contact between those two. Timothy Haynes does seem to have wait up, so there might have been something gone on there, but it has sort of meant that Hillemans has got a bit of space now. The car's up ahead. Zek has now got Spoonji trying to close the gap on him, as Jensen is still holding behind Omen, keeping a very close distance between them.
I think Omen is gaining slightly on Honzik, but he's now going to have Jensen around the outside at turn 11.
He's got there as Jensen goes
touches the wall.
Luckily, there's no suspension damage in race room, otherwise that would have been a bit annoying for him, having a bit of steering damage, but he does keep going.
That cost him some distance though.
Yeah, he lost some time though. But Honzik is not, the gap between Omen and Honzik is closing down somewhat.
Yeah,
so
Omen was 3/10 faster than Honzik on the last lap.
Honzik is losing some of his pace, or Omen's managed to get some pace out of this. There's definitely going to be an interesting fight between these lot. So we now head on board with Thomas Jansen right now. He's trying to look for the move on Omen. Omen goes for the defensive move into turn 7. But Jensen looks to the cut back, he's going to go down the inside to the other part of this corner. And has made the move and is now in front. And he's made the move work, and unfortunately during that move he lost some ground to Honzik. Also is now closing the back of the other Jensen.
Looks like Whitford is also closing up on Omen.
Oh, and Sebastian Hillemans and Brunier have one. Sebastian gets passed by Hillemans, going into turn 2, I believe.
As there seems to be a bit of fighting between Victor Berlin and Timothy Haynes, both in the white Hyundais.
All the way at the back here, side by side now, heading into through turn 5. As Haynes will be holding on to there and goes down the inside of turn 6. This is outside of the points area.
A bit further up ahead of them, Higgins looks to make the move on Magnus Alberg. Moves up the inside and gets past. It seems Alberg just broke a bit too late there.
So he has made the pass, he's now in front as Higgins is now nearly 0.8 of a second behind him already. Jensen's lost some time though to Honzik. And Aman's lost some time to Mark Whitford. Mark Whitford's now under a second between those two. Possibly for the last podium spot there could be some changes. Oman goes a bit on the gravel then. And Whitford's right behind him.
Van Machuca is also getting pretty close to Anton Grivelainen, and René Plexak is right behind him.
So Orden's made pass behind Jensen now. But he's 1.3 seconds behind these lot. So he's making a very good comeback drive, but 10 minutes have gone and 10 minutes are left in the race to go. So he's still a bit more work to do.
Whitford is very close to Omen right now. So that's going to get a bit interesting. Possibly on the next lap.
We'll try to make a move here into turn 11. He is getting closer and closer. As Oman goes to the defensive
Try to go
line.
around the outside. No, not.
We could make the cut back as Oman does hit the defensive line, but not really close enough to make that work either. Has to stay behind from another lap. As Orza gets passed by Jensen, so Jensen's met back up into P5.
As Berlin is off the track again. And once again, all the way back down to grid.
Again, having a bit of issues here, staying on track, it does seem.
So Omen is trying to put away from Whitford, but is having a bit of a difficult
Oh, I think
time.
a car off the track or in the pits. As Justin well below
Justin
his.
well below his retired.
Like that, as Jensen has closed onto the back of Honzig. At least the title rivals will be fighting for the win of this race. As Ordner's going to make the move now down into turn 11, very slow then. But we managed to hold off enough. Does look like it. Jensen's now going to try and possibly go up the inside down to turn 1, but not really quite close enough to do it. Looks like Ordner will manage to hold the position as Whitford's going for the P3 spot round the outside into turn 3.
And he's made it.
And then has to sort of somewhat back out then. But that means now Mark Whitford is in the podium's positions.
Omen not giving up easily though, he's still close behind.
There's unfortunately a 4-second gap for Mark Whitford between them and the leaders.
As Thomas Jensen is now also very close behind Honzig, although he just had a bit of oversteer there, and it's going to cost him a lot of time.
A lot of time, going to 1.2 seconds gap between those two.
There.
They unfortunately managed not to catch that on stream, so don't exactly know what happened there, but...
I did see he had some big oversteer.
As our men's trying to make a move on Mark Whitford, but he's not giving up that position easily. Is making a bit of a gap away from Jensen behind him. Kovline has now unfortunately dropped back down to P8 and now got Radzetzer behind him.
As meanwhile, Stephen Higgins has also retired.
So second retirement of this race. But unfortunately, then hopefully they do stay on the server for the race 2 because the possibility of more points then. As Omen has dropped off some of the back of Mark Whitford. And now may have to deal with George Orsler, who's closing the gap now on him. He's somewhat struggling with pace now in the last couple of minutes of this race. Was a few of them going very aggressive on the curb there to turn 8 and Neeson himself off the track. So far no car managed to have gone off there yet. As Kovline now back past from Menchuka again.
As Balexek goes down the inside of Machuca.
Yeah, he's going down the side.
Looks like he's just about made his way past. Maybe, no, not quite.
Menchuka's going to keep on the inside line there for the start-finish straight, and we'll have slight advantage going into turn 1. Rad's still holding there, but we'll have to back out at some point, and so he does.
Yeah.
Orsner now right behind the back of Omen. Jensen's not yet really...
Balexek looks at the inside of Machuca and not quite able to do anything there. I think that was a bit of an ambitious move, to be honest.
Yeah, it's not really an easy overtaking opportunity to make. The track gets very bumpy off the line and it somewhat unsettles the car quite a bit. And then doing a lot of defending work to keep George behind him. Also slowing himself down as well as he's dropped to 2 seconds behind Mark Whitford, who himself is not gaining that much in the cars in the front.
Yeah, Magnus Müller Jensen is also coming up behind them now.
Ooh,
That
also
might
make a
still get into.
possible
Ooh.
move, but lose a bit of time out, and that allows Magnus to close the gap down a bit further. Oh, but
Let's see if he can
Oman's
make
got
anything happen into turn 11. Oman
yeah.
is the inside. And Orner tries to send it around the outside, but he's not able to, unfortunately
Has
for
to
him.
has to very aggressively cut back inside to not allow Jensen to sneak up the inside as well.
Yeah, might be able to go up the inside into turn 1.
One of them's going to have to back out going up into turn 2 now. There's a bit of contact then as Jensen goes across. Jensen loses it. All 3 of them
They
go off the
all
track.
lose it. Oh, a bit too much
Oh,
pressure
and here
there, I think.
comes Kovalainen. He's made the move, and as this order all shuffle up now, as they go. Does seem that Kovalainen is the winner out of that. Jensen gets off fairly lightly and manages to get back into P5. We've got Fran Machuca right behind him now as well. George Order drops down to P8, and the real losers are men who drops down to P11 behind
Well,
Sebastian Brunier.
good news for Ortner is if he finishes here, he'll be starting P1 in the next race.
I don't think Kovalainen can believe his luck right now. He's not the best of race at this point, and then he suddenly shoots up into P4, but he's got to hold on to that now because Jensen, who's been proving a bit of pace today, is going to be right behind him. There's only 1 minute left to go, so we may soon be heading on to the last lap very shortly, depending on where the leaders are. Honza is be entering into turn 11 right now, so this will be one more lap after this to decide who will come home in that P4 spot. Mark Whitford's got some of a buffer zone now to him, so he doesn't need to push too hard.
As Palexek tries to make the move on Jörg Ortner. They're into turn 11, Palexek around the outside. And there they go. And Palexek has to stay behind. He's not quite able to carry enough speed through there. Do anything, he might be able to have another chance here though. No, he won't for now.
So, one more lap. This is the last lap now, and Kovalainen's got to do everything he can to keep that position, as Jensen is right behind him now. So, Audi versus Audi.
Junior is also getting really close to Radek Palexek. So he might still be able to make his way to 9th position. As it seems Hillemans either just made a move on Ortner or managed to defend there. I think he defended that one.
Kovalainen is a bit defensive there into turn 7. But he's going to have to make more of a gap now. He's going to get the chicane and turn 11 left to go. The real only other overtaking opportunities now as they head down into the said chicane. Jensen.
Yeah, Jensen has a bit of connection issues, I think, and I think he just went a bit too deep in there, and so it looks like Kovalainen will be able to take this P4.
Well, he's got one more corner to now defend now, and Jensen might go a big old lunge now. No, he doesn't. He keeps somewhat safe. So
yeah,
maybe not ending up in
not close enough to do anything there.
Maybe ending up in the wall is not the best idea.
No.
As Honza does take the race win, Jensen will come home in 2nd, Whitford 3rd, Kovalainen 4th, Jensen 5th, Hillerman 6th. As all ours bit are Ordner comes home in 7th, Palexek 8th, Sebastian Brunier, Omen 10th. Oh, well, what was going on? It's a huge pile up. There's millions and millions of dollars worth of damage here at the mighty Sonoma. As we are trying to find out where the next couple of cars are. Banraz. coming home now through the final corners.
Yeah, Victor Berlin is also going through turn 11 right now. So the good news for Jörg Ortner is that he will be starting second for the next race, with Radek Polexek in pole position.
Oh no. Okay. James Butler will be the last person to cross the line, as he doesn't. So Honzik takes the victory at race 1, but Polexek will start on pole, as you said. George Ordner will start alongside him on the second race. It's going to be an interesting second race, I think. 2 DNFs consisting of Higgins and well below. So the cars now line back up onto the grid for race 2. And I think it's going to be a very interesting race 2. Because the grid sort of got shuffled up a bit because of the incident.
Yeah.
Man's got a lot of work to do. He's got starting all the way down the order quite far because, again, he was the real loser of that crash with Ordner and Jensen. Jensen got off fairly lightly, actually. Managed to come home in P5. So, as the lights will be going out very shortly. And we are go for race 2, and Polexek gets a good start, so does George Orner. This time actually has tracks, does seem to have launch control enabled, and we'll be going round the outside into turn 2, possibly, as it still seems fairly clean now going round. Polexek is a bit wide there through turn 2.
Yeah, some of the cars getting a bit squirrely, but nobody off the track so
and
far.
George Orner takes the lead going into turn 3. Has to down to fence again into turn 4, as Jensen managed to get part in front of Mark Whitford. He's now got Honzik, the company, right behind him. So Honzik managed to get fairly quickly up the order as well, all the way up into P5 and possibly into P4 if he can get around Whitford. Thomas Jensen, meanwhile, is still in P9, as Omen managed to jump up to P8 as well. So some people got very good starts, some people not so much. Jensen managed to jump to get past Hillerman, it does seem, and now he's up into P7.
Honzik gets very close to Mark Whitford. And they're going up to the chicane. Honzik goes down the inside.
There might let another car through. No, it doesn't. But Honzik's now up into P4, so he's very quickly making his way through these positions. As George is leading, followed by Radek, Magnus, Jensen, Honzik, Walt Whitford, Atto Kovalainen, and Jensen. And Hillerman's around the top 8. As the men drops all the way down to the back of the order, so something must have happened to him. We missed it. As we did. Oh, and the car stops, and Hillerman's, I believe, has lost it. Yeah, he lost it at turn 2.
2, yeah. So he's off the track and all the way back down the grid.
So that's been unfortunate for him. He had a good start this race. So Jensen, look up the, see if we can move on Polexek. And these 2-3 are trying to make it as much of a gap as possible from Honzik, who is closing that gap down as quick as he can. Behind him is Mark Whitford and Kovalainen, who's somewhat, and Jensen as well, who's closed all the way back onto the back of Kovalainen. Everything he can do. Jensen gonna make a move. Jansen making a move in Kovalainen, possibly. No, he does not quite really close enough just yet. German's making his way, fighting back through the order. But Honzig has now closed onto the top 3 right now. He's got to deal with Jensen now. And Mark Whitford as well has closed onto the back as well. So looks like some people have got a bit more pace than others. Whitford is now right on the back of Honzig. Not going to be making a move, unfortunately, into turn 6, as it's a bit of a risky corner to make unless you're already alongside before heading into the corner. We make a move into turn 7. Doesn't look like it. So none of the top 3 can really make a getaway right now. Not a getaway they would really like to anyway.
For sure. Jensen is also staying very close behind Plexak.
Jensen, so
Thomas Jensen is still down in P7, so not a good start to the race for him.
He's somewhat struggling to get past Kovalainen, and I think Honzig was somewhat lucky in the early brawls managed to get through, but so far not being so lucky. But Jensen is making now a move onto Kovalainen, down the inside. And he has made the move work, and he's moved up to P6. The next car ahead of him will be Whitford, and the cars in front are in a somewhat little fight going on, so he's got a chance of closing the gap now as long as he can get some clean air and get some good lap times in. Oh, Sebastian Brunner's gone off, I believe. Yeah, he has, as well as Victor Berlin at turn 2. So I don't know what's going on there.
Was Omen already down in P14, or was he?
He was
also possibly
involved? He had another incident beforehand, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, Sebastian is just now back onto the track.
Oh,
so
Tom Dentist.
Tom Dentist has retired.
Oh, and Jensen touches the back of Radek into turn 7. It's also allowed Honzig to get closer as well. So TC rubbing his racing has officially really begun now. And we've still got 30 minutes of this to go. As Honzig
made his way past Jensen.
Yep. He's in the podium positions right now on Mark. And Olsen somewhat struggled to get away from Radek. It's not good for him, as he's going to get soon chased down by Honzig, as Radek I don't think really has the pace to keep Honzig behind him.
Yeah, Ortner and Plexak are running pretty much identical pace right now, and Honzig is a bit faster.
A bit more issues for Sebastian Brunner as he is losing time.
Oh, Jensen! Jensen is off into the barrier. Let's allow Whitford to get past. Will he lose another position?
Possibly. Jansen
not for now, anyway.
Jansen is looking for it though.
Jansen on Jansen.
Jansen on Jensen.
Jansen.
Jason. They can't really make a move now. I don't really know what happened. I think he's got a bit loose there over the butt going over the ridge. Took a bit of a stretched curb and car sort of spat him out into the wall.
Yeah, it looks like there wasn't really anyone close to him, close enough to him to cause any kind of contact, so it will have been his own mistake.
Honzig's now possibly making a move on Radek, going into the chicane. Door somewhat open, but Radek will manage to close it just in time. Make another move into turn 11 as well, down the inside, and Radek help fight back. Doesn't look like he will be able to. No, he is fighting back. He's still side by side. He's not giving up the position easily. He's going to the inside line now, going to turn 1. One of his cars will have to back out. Looks like Honzig has backed out somewhat. Staying close enough to still mount a challenge into the next couple of corners. Meanwhile, Thomas Jansen is closing the sort of fight against Jensen in front. As Hillerman is right behind James Butler right now, somewhat down the order. Honzig still trying to make his way around Radek, but Radek managed to be somewhat holding his line there. And possibly another go in chicane. Oh, right, Whitford goes on 2 wheels there in the background.
Oh, that's a big off, and he
Loses
ends up just behind.
So to go straight on the chicane.
Lineman.
That was a big moment there, and he will lose the position to Thomas Jensen. That's going to be very frustrating for him. He's back down to P6. As the fight for the lead is getting closer and closer. As Order's still not really got the pace to keep the lead. Right, it was a bit wide there, and allows Honzig to slip through around the outside, and looks like he will manage to do it now. So now it's Honzig versus Order, the 2 streamers who are streaming their POVs, one-on-one for the lead of this race. Well, Jensen is still somewhat struggling with the other Jensen in the back. Let's see what happens now. Under 10 minutes to go. Anything can happen. Kovalainen is now right on the back of Mark Whitford. As they now head through turn 7. Right on the back now of the Audi in front. Looking to make a move possibly in turn 11, but not really close enough, as Thomas Jensen's going down the inside, possibly of Jensen in front. Not really close enough just yet, though, to make that work. Round they go for one more lap. And surprisingly, that's like somewhat managed to hold together in this little group of cars.
Yeah, he's doing very well.
But then again, the cars in front are fighting each other, so that is going to slow them down a bit. Ooh, Honzig's trying to look for any possibility he can to pass.
I think he's going to have to wait a little bit longer for that. But he does seem to be faster than Ortner right now.
And they go into turn 6. Kovalainen still round the back. I think we have another car retire.
Yeah, that's Stephen Higgins has retired. Unfortunately. Honzig just had a little look up the inside of Ortner, but he's not close enough. Maybe he can do something into turn 11.
You get a good run going now through turn 10. Doesn't look like it is close enough.
No,
He does
not
a really
quite.
late lunge. No, not really. Still a bit too far away for that to work. As Jensen's now going for the inside of Jensen. And looks like he's finally made the move with 5 minutes to go in this race. And he's got 2 seconds to gain on the cars in front. So he's got all the work to do right now.
Yeah, still 5 minutes and 40 seconds left in the race. So he's got some time to do it. But even if he gets close, getting past will not be easy. As Honzik goes down the inside of Hortner. No, Hortner stays ahead.
This is exactly what Jensen wants to happen though, because obviously the more these fighters slow they'll go, the more chance he does have to catch up on them. And obviously, always is the added risk of one of them hitting each other and going off the track. Honzik is now looking for the inside. But turn 6 gets a bitter exit out of that corner. So we're going to go for the defensive line. No, he doesn't have to, luckily. He's got a bit more of a lead. Oh, Honzik goes down the inside onto the curb somewhat. Got very close now, going for the chicane. Cove line is still trying to close the gap down on Mark Whitford, who still has yet to recover properly from the incident earlier, as Honzik is now going again looking for that move into turn 11, getting very close to the back of Ordener's car.
Yes, Radek is also getting very close to Honzik's car.
What Order really wants right now is Radek to make a move on Honzik at some point, just to unsettle him a bit. Because that's a lot of pressure going down on one car right now. So you see somewhat Radek to act as like take that pressure away from him. Oh, Order goes a bit over the curb.
2 wheels.
Probably what happened earlier to Jensen when he went into the barriers. But other Jensen is closing the gap down, but it might be a bit too late now as Honzik's going to go rounding it down the inside. Has to go for the outside as Order does take the defensive line through, but does compromise his line through
Honzik
the corner.
goes to the inside. And does he make straight pass? There'll be a little drag race here.
Side by side, but Order gets a better exit through turn 6. And we'll have the defensive line going into turn 7 as well. Once again, using that curb if he can. It might actually not be helping them, but he's going to lose a bit of traction there, obviously. Front wheel drive cars, all the traction goes through the front 2 wheels. The rear wheels are literally just there to stop the car from spinning, as defined by someone else. When talking about front wheel drive cars, he goes down the inside in chicane.
So I have the inside here, and I have the outside for turn 11.
As Jordan gets a bit of better traction, someone out accelerates him going out, but they are going to be side by side. Has a bit of contact there, but only tiny bit. As well as going to have the inside line, they're going to keep fighting. Honzik does get pushed out a bit wide there. Radek's yet to really manage to get close enough to mount a challenge.
Meanwhile, Jensen keeps getting closer and closer.
Oh, Radek's making possibly a move. No, he doesn't. He backs out.
He had a little look up the inside, but he's not able to do anything there.
Jensen is now right on the back of these 4. Oh, a bit of contact there. Bit too close there for comfort, as he does clutch the back of George Ordener's car and does lose a bit of speed out of that. Luckily, no one does go off the track.
We've got a proper 4-car train now.
With 1 minute 40 to go. All it takes a slightly deeper line for that corner, but make it a slightly better exit. As they are once again side by side, but because George Order has
what we've seen on the last lap, Ordener will have the inside on the next corner. And maybe a little defensive line there.
A bit more contact again. And this is now letting everyone else catch up. One mistake from these top runners, and that could cost them a lot of positions now. As they are slowly getting closer together. Can George Order keep it going as this will be the second to last lap. As Honzig possibly makes another move in chicane. No, he decides against it for now. Because it also takes a very, very slow line through there. Just trying to cover as much of it off as possible.
So will Honzig be able to go somewhere in turn 11? Let's see what happens.
Oh, he's going down the inside. Bit of more bargy work. That's all we'll have
the inside on the next corner.
Looks like all will manage to keep this going into the last lap. Now this is going to be the last lap. Only 30 seconds
very
left.
solid defending from Ortner.
Yeah, Ordner's just has to keep it going. He doesn't have quite the pace to really make a breakaway. Oh, Honzig gets a bit on the curb then, loses a bit of speed. And any mistake that Honzig does acts as a little bit of breathing room for Ordner in front. But only a tiny bit.
Seems to be quite easy to take too much curb through there and get on two wheels, as Jensen has a little look of the inside of Radek Pelexek, but no, he doesn't make a move. Might be able to do something into the next corner though. As Radek defends the inside, and so Jensen not able to do anything.
Right, one more time down through the fast turn 8 we go. Where will Matt manage to ride too much curb once again? No one does.
And
now into chicane.
Honzig goes down the inside in the chicane.
Bit of argy-bargy. Alder gets
rubbing. And he's done it.
He's got past. After a bit of contact there, and looks like he will manage to make the move work as he's now going down into the turn 11 now.
As Radek
go down the
inside.
Oh, a bit of touching. Can Jensen get out anything out of this? No, he can't, but will Radek manage to get P2? Yes, he will as they head across the line now. Radek takes the win.
Honzig takes the win.
Radek takes P2. Oh, here we go again.
Jörg Ortner takes P3 and Thomas Jensen takes P4. The other Jensen takes P5, Mark Whitford takes P6. P7 is Anton Kirchlein, then it's Magnus Alberg in P8. Then Fram Natrucker will cross the line in P9. Timothy Haynes will come 10.
Oh dear.
As there we have Jan Willem van Ommen coming up in P11. Victor Berlin in P12. Pepijn Hillemans in P13. 14th will be Sebastian Brunier, who's just coming onto the main straight now.
And here comes Sebastian Brunier.
And then it will be Baneras in P15. Will be the final finisher of this race. So we've got 3 DNFs with James Butler, Stephen Higgins and Tom Dentist.
Let's just wait for the final car to cross the line now. And there we go. So Honzig takes race 2. Just at the end there, Pelexek does take P2, Jordan on the P3, Thomas Jensen P4, the other Jensen a P5, Whitford P6, Kovalainen P7, Alberg P8, Manchuka P9, and Haynes P10. And that it will be it all for this race. Anything you'd like to add, Erwin?
Well, of course, thank you very much for watching, as this was a very exciting race. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. And if you did, please click the like button and remember to subscribe to this channel if you'd like to see more.
Yep, as we'll be signing off again, as next week we'll be back onto the GT Series at Road America. That'll be an interesting race, as some of the cars will struggle a bit due to the lot of straight lines, so some of the slower cars on the straight line will be having a bit of a harder time then, but it should hopefully still lead to some good racing. And until then, we will see you then. So thank you everyone for tuning in once again, and again, see you the next time.
Goodbye.